Right everyone, welcome back. How are we all doing? Hope we're having a great day and we're all doing well. So I know we just got a release of Operation Dread Factor, but it's never too early to start looking into the future and start theorizing about some of the stuff we are going to get. And I have a theory for the brand new Korean operator we are going to be getting in Year 8 Season 3 and the fact that they are going to be part of Nighthaven. And I urge you to watch until the end of the video just so you can get the full understanding of this theory, because I do think it is pretty credible and it does have quite a high chance of being true. Now I quickly want to thank PRD Blackwatch for assisting me with this theory. He is another content creator who focuses on Rainbow Six lore and I highly recommend checking him out. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So let's look at the facts we know. Year 8 Season 3 is going to be an operator from Korea. We currently already have two operators from Korea. We have Dokkaebi, who was born in South Korea, and then we have Vigil, who was born in North Korea, but when he was a child his family escaped and found sanctuary in South Korea itself. And so of course, this isn't going to be the first time we have an operator from Korea. And it has been quite a trend recently for Ubisoft to start revisiting some countries that we've already had operators from and adding them to the game as well as the story. And as well as this, these operators have had links to already existing operators from that country. For example, when we went back to Japan, we got a brand new operator called Azami, and she worked in the police force with Habana. At the beginning of this year, we went back to Brazil with the brand new operator Brava, and she is a cousin of Capitão, a Brazilian operator which we've had in the game for a good amount of years. So as we can see, it's been a trend for Ubisoft when revisiting old countries to make the characters we are getting from those countries have links to the already existing operators and play a part in those existing operators' story. But what if I told you that it wasn't meant to be Dokkaebi who was joining Team Rainbow? Rather, it was meant to be Vigil and someone else from their CTU. I'm gonna need to set Dokkaebi up a little bit for you guys who do not know her story. So basically, her and Vigil both worked for the 707th Special Mission Group known as the White Tigers in South Korea. But unfortunately for her, the major general of this group really did not like her, and he done everything possible to make her life difficult. When she done some training with the SAS, she heard about Team Rainbow, and this is something she wanted to get involved with. So she used her advanced hacking skills to hack the system and put her name on the list. This means that there was another soldier who was originally going to take that place, but was beaten out by Dokkaebi. However, it seems like the Major General knew what she'd done, and it seems like she made a lot of enemies in that group, to the point where she believes that Vigil was only sent alongside her to Team Rainbow to monitor her behavior and report back to her CTU. However, Vigil only wants what's best for her, and out of the many enemies she made, he was not one of them. So now that you have the knowledge that Dokkaebi kind of cheated her way into Team Rainbow, although Harry does know about this and he says that's why he likes Dokkaebi, and if anything that made her even more of a standout option, but that does mean that there's probably another soldier who doesn't like Dokkaebi who felt like their place was robbed. So if we're going back to South Korea in Year 8 Season 3, then it would make so much sense for Ubisoft to follow this story arc and bring someone else from the 707th Battalion who plays into this dynamic of Dokkaebi and Vigil. And like we've seen with previous seasons, when they go back to a country we've already been to, they typically link to our already existing operators. However, if this operator is another one from the White Tigers, then they probably won't like Dokkaebi very much. That is where Nighthaven would come into play in all of this. If this new Korean operator is an ex-White Tiger who then joins Nighthaven and has experience with Dokkaebi and Vigil, that would play even more into the story arc of there being opposing operators on both Rainbow and Nighthaven, even whilst Deimos is still the main villain. And that would make a lot of sense being able to introduce a new South Korean operator, because I really can't imagine that if they bring one into Team Rainbow that they're gonna have a liking for Dokkaebi, and I can't really imagine that any Rainbow operative or squad leader would want to do that. And so Nighthaven seems like the likely option for the squad that this operator is going to be in. However, there's more pieces of information that play into the theory that this next operator is going to be part of Nighthaven, and that's actually the brand new observation blocker gadget we just got in Operation Dread Factor. If you've not seen one of my other videos or taken a closer look at this observation blocker, this gadget is actually made by none other than Nighthaven. And especially since Nighthaven isn't part of Team Rainbow anymore, it is a bit weird that we're getting new gadgets made by Nighthaven. So it would make a lot of sense for a new Nighthaven gadget to come alongside a new Nighthaven operator. However, Fenrir, the operator that came alongside this gadget, is part of redhammer. But if you weren't originally aware, the observation blocker was actually meant to come in Year 8 Season 3, but got pushed forward to the current season we are in right now, Dread Factor. So this gadget, which is made by Nighthaven, was originally meant to come in Year 8 Season 3, a season we don't know which squad is going to be focused on. That kind of hints to me that that season was originally meant to be a Nighthaven season. And the reason why the observation blocker just came a season early is because they wanted it for gameplay to come early. Gameplay and lore don't really cross over much. The lore team probably wanted a Nighthaven based gadget to come in Season 3 because there was going to be a Nighthaven operator in that season, but as we've seen in the past, if gameplay and time constraints don't align with lore, they aren't going to stick to it. For example, in Operation Brutal Swarm, we were meant to get the new map Nighthaven Labs. That is because the operator that season was Grim, a Nighthaven operative. However, the map simply wasn't finished, and they had to release it the next season, Operation Solar Raid, alongside an operator from Ghosteyes. They've done the same thing with Emerald Plains as well. In Operation High Caliber, we got an Irish operator and no new map. Then a season and a half later, in a Japanese season, we got a map called Emerald Plains, which was set in Ireland. So it seems like it doesn't matter if it doesn't really make sense alongside the operator which is coming. Although the lore is a bit different than what they originally envisioned, it doesn't matter when the gameplay and the content itself releases. So the way I saw this new observation blocker, and the way Blackwatch seen it, and other people seen it as well, is that they kind of prematurely announced that the Season 3 operator is going to be part of Nighthaven. Again, that may not be the case at all, but just looking at the trend of how they do things, it would make a lot of sense if they were. So with a high chance of the Season 3 operator being part of Nighthaven, and potentially and most likely having links to Dokkaebi and Vigil, then it would only make sense for them to have a disliking towards Dokkaebi, and probably in turn Vigil as well. Vigil is on Dokkaebi's side, they're both good people. I can't imagine Vigil wants anything bad done to Dokkaebi. So having Dokkaebi and Vigil basically having an ex-colleague who hates them on Nighthaven is just gonna really help establish that really weird situation Rainbow and Nighthaven are in right now, where Deimos is the main bad guy. He's attacking Rainbow. He's most likely gonna go for Nighthaven soon as well, but Rainbow aren't on talking terms with Nighthaven. Nighthaven aren't on talking terms with Rainbow, but in the end, most likely they'll need each other to defeat Deimos. Then having characters like these thrown into the mix, where you've got issues between operators like Grim and Nook, and then this new South Korean operator could have issues with Dokkaebi and Vigil, just helps establish that Nighthaven and Rainbow aren't just gonna magically make up together, and there is reasons why there's conflicts on either side. In my opinion, that would be the best way they could handle the brand new South Korean operator, to have them already developed in the story itself, but still being a fresh new character, which honestly introduces a new aspect of sort of relationship and situations, which we haven't really seen yet in Rainbow Six Siege lore. And as well as this, Nighthaven kind of need a tech person. Both Vigil and Dokkaebi are very tech heavy operators. Vigil can make himself blind on cameras, and Dokkaebi can hack people. Surely it would make a lot of sense for the new South Korean operator to also have some form of a hacking ability as well. Maybe not, we did just get Brava, which also has a hacking ability, and for gameplay reasons they may not want to do 2 hacking operators in 1 year, especially since the Season 3 op is going to be on attack if they keep up with the current, trend, since Fenrir was defense. But Team Rainbow have Echo, they have Dokkaebi, they have Vigil, they have Brava. Nighthaven doesn't really have a proper tech person. Yes, of course, like Osa is very good with like robotics, but when it comes to like hacking and sort of on the side stuff, they are somewhat lacking in that aspect. I just think that would be a really interesting operator, because it does seem a lot of characters in our operators past are starting to re-emerge. Of course, like I said, Azami worked with Hibana in the police force before Hibana eventually made her way to Team Rainbow and went through a CTU, etc. Brava, not only being the cousin of Capitao, was also part of the squad which saved Capitao when he was being held captive, and whilst he was being held captive, that is how he actually lost his eye. So most likely the South Korean operator is gonna at least know Dokkaebi and Vigil. Whether they will dislike them is another story, and I think the likelihood that they are going to be part of Nighthaven is probably going to be pretty high. Who knows, they could be a friendly Rainbow operative who is part of like wolfguard. But I really like the theory that we have laid out here, and I hope that honestly does become the case. I'm now sort of 50% accurate when it comes to my operator theories. I was right years ago that the hidden operator was going to be Sam Fisher, but I was wrong about the identity of the Swedish operator. I thought it was going to be Annika, a legacy Rainbow Six character. It was actually Fenrir. And my theory for Deimos' identity has still not been answered yet, so we're currently waiting for that one. But when it comes to operators, let's hope that this theory is right, and I am 2 for 3. So be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think this theory is credible? Do you think that the brand new South Korean operator could be part of Nighthaven and does have a past with both Dokkaebi and Vigil? I definitely think it is very plausible. So yes, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy, dislike it if not, subscribe to the channel. Also be sure to drop a sub on Blackwatch's channel as well. Be sure to check out my other videos for more Rainbow Six lore content and other content as well. I post everything Rainbow Six, so be sure to check that out. Have an incredible rest of your day. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.